Let's go live to the opposition leader, Sussan Ley, for some immediate reaction to that. Susan, good to have you with us this morning. Thanks for your time. So, will the opposition support it?
We're going to be constructive with everything that comes before us. We're going to see legislation through the lens of the national interest and the importance of getting it right, because we know that millions of Australians who backed us to come to this place and voted for us want us to demonstrate the values of aspiration, hard work, reward for opportunity, and backing those Australians who are having a crack and getting ahead and, can I say, struggling right now. So there's a couple of pieces of legislation coming through today, the HECS bill, the childcare bill, and we'll have discussions. I will have discussions, as I normally would, with my colleagues, and we'll take the next steps. I'm pleased with the government's efforts around childcare, because it's too important to get that wrong, and I have said we want to be above politics in the interests of parents and families who have just been horrified at these stories.
No, they sure have been. But just on that point to cut student debt, I mean, the government took it to the election. Do they not have a mandate to get that one through, and would you be foolish to oppose it?
Pete, it's an area where we can be constructive, and I've said we will be constructive where we can. That doesn't mean a blank cheque of goodwill for everything that comes across the table from the Labor Party. But let's not forget that this reduction in HECS debt came for students and young people who are really struggling with rising cost of living. And when I talk to young people now, the first thing they tell me is how they are losing hope of ever getting into a home and how their rents are skyrocketing. And I'm really hearing that pain in terms of their escalating bills. What we know is that when young people are struggling, that's bad for society, and it's really tough. Now, the HECS debt, as I said, was a point in time to provide some of that relief. But what we want to do is help young Australians, and what we now have in front of us is leaked Treasury advice that says there's no way the government can build 1.2 million homes, and it's young Australians who would benefit first and foremost from those homes. So Treasury now leaking information saying that the budget is under pressure, taxes will probably have to go up, homes can't be built. Young Australians are feeling this, and we're here in the Parliament for them.
OK. Michael McCormack and Barnaby Joyce, they've formed an unlikely partnership. They're on the front page of the Australian today. They want to repeal net zero. So momentum already building from your junior partner now on that. Have you got a thought on their input this morning?
Oh, these two blokes are pretty good at speaking up for themselves, and I'll let them do that, as they clearly have. But
so
most
speaking up for themselves,
Pete,
not you.
When it comes to energy policy, well, they're speaking up for themselves, but I just want to make this point about energy policy because that's what the report was about. We will have an energy policy going forward with two fundamentals: that we play our part in reducing emissions in a transparent way, that we have a reliable energy grid that provides stable, affordable energy for households and businesses. And those two principles are the ones that our working group will start working with. And everyone in our coalition party room will have an opportunity to input into that. But the other thing I want to say, Pete, is that we're the opposition. We're not making energy policy, the government is. And our first job is to hold them to account, because what we're seeing is rising costs. Their promise about 82% of the grid being renewable by 2030, that's clearly not going to happen. And I couldn't step into a single struggling manufacturing business. I brought many of these examples directly onto your program in the last 3 years, where energy wasn't the number one issue that they were facing that was causing them to go out of business. So we'll be there fighting the fight for struggling Australians who, are going backwards in the face of rising power bills.
Do you still support net zero, Susan?
We're looking at energy policy with those two fundamentals. So it's not about picking out an individual area of that policy. It's broader than that. It's bigger than that. Think of those two fundamentals, Pete. An affordable, reliable policy, a stable energy grid so that you actually don't get brownouts, and then also playing our part in reducing emissions in a transparent way. These are things that the government is not presenting to Australians. They're not being honest about the cost of their energy policy. We're going to hold them to account for that.
It's been coalition policy for a long time, though. It sounds like you're not committed to it.
Our policies are under review. I said that. after we lost the election.
Right.
Our values are not.
Right.
So
are you walking away from it? I mean,
that those values.
Does McCormack and Joyce have a point there? Is this the beginning of you walking away from it to keep the new coalition together?
The Energy Working Group is going to engage in energy policy in a genuine way, which incorporates the views of everyone in our joint party rooms. That's exactly what Australians would expect of us. And they would expect a policy that is underpinned by playing our part in reducing emissions, but also that stable energy grid that Australians deserve, expect, and I'm really concerned are not going to get from this government.
OK. We'll leave it there. Sussan Ley, good to have you with us this morning. Thank you.